Hey everyone, it's technology expert Burton Kelso here with another tech tip to help you get the most out of the technology in your life. Today we're talking about if you should upgrade from Windows 10 to Windows 11. I know it's tempting, especially if you had your old Windows 10 computer crash and you have no choice but to get Windows 11. That's not always the case, but sometimes with Windows you get that prompt that says, hey, it's time to update to Windows 11. Should you do it or should you not do it? Well, I think it depends on the situation, and there's a lot of things to take in consideration whether you should upgrade from Windows 10 to Windows 11. I'm going to immediately say, no, don't do it. But I can't speak for everyone. So let's take a look at some things that you need to consider. And before we go on, I want you to make sure that you know this isn't a Windows 10 versus a Windows 11 because there's really no comparison if you really think about it. And you probably don't. But the first thing that you need to consider is Windows 10 is dependable. If you are experiencing problems with your Windows 10 computer, you need to call a tech expert like myself or my company Integral to get things solved. Windows 10 is probably one of the more stable operating systems in recent years. I know there's people that are nostalgic about those days of Windows XP and even Windows 7. In fact, we have customers that still use Windows 7, believe it or not. But Windows 10 is dependable. I mean, everything that you have works. It's got some backwards compatibility with a lot of hardware. Software, not so much, because obviously if it's an old DOS game that you were playing, you're not going to get compatibility with Windows 10 on something that run on Windows XP or even Windows 7. But for the most part, it is a very dependable operating system. So you got to keep that in mind if you're going to make that switch from Windows 10 to Windows 11. Another thing that you should know about Windows 11 is it forces you to use the latest versions of Internet Explorer. What if you're a Brave user or Chrome user, or even if you use Tor browser to surf the internet, not to mention Firefox? Windows 11 makes it very difficult to use third-party browsers. And it makes sense, right? Because it comes with Microsoft Edge. So why would Microsoft want you to use a third-party browser with its newest operating system? Well, that's a good question, but that's the fact of the matter is that it's very hard to choose a third-party browser in Windows 11. So keep that in mind if you have Windows 10 and you're thinking about either upgrading or just getting a new computer for the sake of getting Windows 11. Next is printers. Windows 11 is notorious for having problems with older printers, and it's the darndest thing. Sometimes the printer will say it's compatible with 11. Sometimes it'll work. Sometimes it won't work. Doesn't matter if it's a USB connector, a Wi-Fi connector. It's just sketchy in Windows 11. Unless you bought a printer within the last, I would say, 6 months, even though Windows 11's been out for longer than 6 months, or just about at 6 months, it's kind of hard to say if that printer is going to work. We've had multiple customers that have gone from Windows 7 to Windows 11, Windows 10 to Windows 11, and they have problems with their printers. So take that in consideration, because if you update your device or if you get a new computer, new shiny computer, laptop or desktop, and your printer doesn't work, man, you're going to be in a world of hurt. And that was one of the good things about 10 is that would just about work on any printer on the market. So keep that in mind before you make that switch. And I know some of you are probably thinking, I'm not going to upgrade anyway because it's full of bugs. But that's not necessarily the case with Windows 11. It's just designed for newer devices. Next is software. Oh my goodness. Really? Ho ho ho. True story. We had a customer that couldn't get the latest version of Adobe Acrobat DC Reader installed on their Windows 11 computer, and it was an upgrade. It took a call to Adobe for Adobe to say, hey, we've got a solution for you. And guess what that solution was? It was to install an older copy of Adobe Reader on a Windows 11 computer. You would think something that new would allow you to install the latest and greatest software. It just doesn't happen. Another problem with 11, and I know you're thinking bugs here, but I'm not talking about bugs. This problem is it's hard to change what's the compatible program you're going to use to do default task. For example, let's say for some reason you installed OpenOffice on Windows 11, and then you wanted to install Office 2019 or Office 365. It's hard to make that switch from reading Word documents, Excel documents, if you have another program installed. Now, if you install your Office program first, obviously you're not going to have problems. But let's say you decide you don't want the Office subscription anymore and you want to go to one of the free Office products on the market. That switch to know or to let your Windows 11 computer know that you want to use that program to be the default program to open up documents, spreadsheets, PowerPoint presentations, or I should say presentation files, etc., etc. Even if you were trying to switch from what your default PDF reader is going to be, that's a hard thing to do in 11. And do you want to deal with that hassle? Some people don't mind, don't even read PDFs on their computer, or they're perfectly fine with using Microsoft Edge as their default PDF reader. And I bet you didn't know Edge does that, did you? That's a little tech tip for you that you need to pay attention to. But it's true. You can read PDFs with Microsoft Edge. And you're probably doing it and not knowing it, because some of you, when you get a new Windows 10 or a Windows 11 computer, you allow Edge to take over as your default PDF writer or reader, because Edge can't write PDFs. So I mean reader. Next on the list of, I shouldn't say annoyances, things that you should be aware of if you decide to make that Windows 11 switch. The task menu. On my left is the Windows 10 Taskbar, which takes up the full screen. On my right is the Windows 11 Taskbar, which starts in the middle of the screen. And it's hard to get into that habit of locating that taskbar when you're working on a Windows 11 computer. I always make it a habit to go to the left-hand side to try to click on the Start menu. Doesn't work when you're using Windows 11 because it's in the middle. And not that location of your taskbar is a big thing. It isn't. But if you're used to those muscle memory motions of using the taskbar, or the taskbar on the left-hand side with the Start menu, it's going to be a little transition to get used to using that. This next one is my biggest pet peeve. You've all seen this. I bet you don't know what that message is, but I know many of you do. Sometimes in the course of upgrading Windows, you will be prompted to sign in with the Microsoft account. Oh my God. It's the worst thing ever, isn't it, when it comes to signing into your computer? Now, obviously, if you're traveling with a laptop on the road, having a sign in, especially with Microsoft, if you're syncing with OneDrive, is a good thing. And that's the whole purpose of having a Microsoft account, is to allow you to have your devices synchronized from the cloud and upload to OneDrive. So with me traveling quite a bit, it comes in handy because if I need access to a presentation or a file, I know that it's going to automatically appear on OneDrive regardless which device I'm on. Doesn't matter if I'm on my desktop, a laptop, which I've got somewhere around here, I've got my smartphone, and I can access all those files anywhere. But sometimes that sign in with Microsoft account is a pain in the butt. And guess what? Windows 11 makes you sign in with a Microsoft account. Yikes! The only way to get around that is when you set up your new Windows 11 computer for the first time. You can set up with an existing Microsoft account or that of a friend, because I know sometimes when I have to go out in the field, if I have a customer that wants to quickly set up Windows 11, I have to sign in with my Microsoft account, then go around and set up a secondary account with either their login credentials or a login credential and password because the user isn't using a Microsoft account. And that's one of the big things that Microsoft wants you to do is to sign into all of your devices with a Microsoft account. And everyone wants to do that. So keep that in mind. Get a Windows 11 computer. You're going to have to sign in with a Microsoft account. Another bothersome thing with 11, but it doesn't really bother me, but it could bother you that are looking at change, is that start menu. It sucks in Windows 10. It really does. It sucks. I hate it. I prefer mine off to the I prefer it off to the left. And the Windows 10 start menu just offers a lot of stuff. It really does. So, and it's a little more customizable than the Windows 11 start menu. I'm hurt about it. I really am. But the fact of the matter is, and probably a lot of you don't know this, is that Windows 11 is essentially Windows 10 with minor changes. Some of the verbiage is replaced with icons such as cut, copy, and paste in Windows 11, and that can be a pain in the butt. But underneath it all, it's just a redressed version of Windows 10. And why is that? Well, remember back in 2015 when Microsoft says, hey, Windows 10 is going to be the last version of Windows. So then you would think that is the only thing you would have to worry about as far as learning Windows 10. Nothing else to learn, correct? Back when the fall service update was about to come out last year, Microsoft changed its mind at the last minute. Those dang liars, those Microsoft people. Tim Cook. Why am I blaming Tim? He's in charge of Apple. But I think the inspiration comes from Apple, and I'll tell you why. So, with Windows 11, it's got strict hardware requirements, which almost means that you need a computer that's 4 years old or newer. Does that sound familiar? Almost sounds like Apple, doesn't it? With them making their planned obsolescence. I think when Windows 10 came out in 2015, and with the rise of solid-state hard drives making older computers able to run Windows 10, Microsoft and probably the industry overall decided, hey, we need to come out with a version of Windows that needs newer stuff so that people can buy newer stuff. It's kind of sad, but that's how the IT industry is. So lo and behold, that last fall update that was just supposed to be a Windows 10 update with some minor modifications as far as the appearance, or the overall appearance, it became Windows 11. And they made changes to make our lives more miserable. But there is good news when it comes to Windows 10. And that is, Windows 10 is supported to at least 2025. Bam, 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 bam. Doesn't that sound like the real or the main chorus of 1999? Except it's 2025. Bam, bam, bam. But anyway, that is the good news. It's only 3 years, But 3 years is better than no years and having to upgrade immediately. So Windows 10 is supported through 2025, so there's really no reason to rush out and get a new system just because Windows 11 is out. Now, Windows 11 has been out for a while, but now we're starting to see some of the problems that people are having with Windows 11. So it's highly recommended that you go ahead and stick with 10 unless an act of God takes your computer out. And of course, you have to get Windows 11. But some manufacturers the computer will come installed with 10, and then you'll have the option to upgrade. And keep in mind, the option to upgrade is always there for Windows 10 computers if it has supported hardware. And how can you tell that? Well, before I have to show you, I have to change the view of my desktop icons to hide them, because trust me, I have a lot of icons on my desktop. So switching to my desktop, let me show you what you should look for. So if we go to the Start menu in the lower left-hand corner where it should be in Windows 10, and then we type in Check for Updates, which is over here. Once we check for updates, you can see that this computer currently does not meet the minimum requirements to run Windows 11. Now you would think that even though my computer is older and it's running Windows 10, it should be able to run Windows 11, right? Not. Now there's fixes that you can do to kind of cheat it into running Windows 11, but doing so will make your computer no longer get updates. Another saboteur attempt by Microsoft, I bet. But anyway, the hardware or Windows 11 has strict, stringent hardware requirements, which are ridiculous to run. So that's why some of you may not be able to update to 11, but it explains why some of you are able to update to 11. So to wrap things up, I would say if it were up to me, stick with what you know. Stay with 10. There's nothing wrong with it. All you're getting is a made-up version of 10. That was supposed to be my made-up face, but here, we'll do that. My made-up face for Windows 11. That's all 10 is, so keep that in mind. And if you have comments or questions, leave them in the comment section below. Would love to hear from you to find out what questions you have about updating that computer from 10 to 11, or just sticking with 10 in the first place. And with every video, I always beg, please, because it's so hard to get subscribers and to get people that want to share this video with their friends and family. Because I know you all need the tech tips. That's why you're watching this stuff. So, leave a comment below, like, share, subscribe, do whatever positive button or click whatever positive button on whatever platform you're watching this on. So, I always like to end by saying, I love technology. I've read all the manuals, and I'm serious about making technology fun, safe, and easy to use for everyone. So take care of yourself and do many things to make you smile. And thanks for watching.